Hey guys, Johnny here, and this week it's all about Ryobi 4-volt tools. And these things are pretty cool. A whole lineup of tools that run from what is not too much bigger than a AA battery, but this is a 4-volt lithium battery charged with USB-C. Now these tools I first saw in America and I bought a triple pack. It was their little impact driver, a torch, and then this handy little multi-cutter, which is genius. It rips through cardboard like nothing else and it runs off that tiny little battery. So it's a really fascinating system. I then found this little beauty in Bauhaus. Now this thing is called the hot cutter and it's got 3 different heads, and this thing is a little beauty as well. Had some fun testing this thing out. Definitely quirky tools, which is the name of the game, and I thought if I get them all together I can make another amazing tool panel like the ones you see behind me. This Ryobi panel here has got some power tools in it, some of their classic 18-volt stuff, and then the hand tools. I built that a while back. If you want to see the video, go and check it out here. But I think a 4-volt dedicated display to showcase some of the quite unusual tools they have would be pretty cool. So I searched around everywhere available in the UK. I went to B&Q, Screwfix Tool Station, pulled together as many of the 4-volt tools as I could find, and then fortunately Ryobi stepped up to help sort out the remaining items that I couldn't find anywhere else, along with a giveaway, which you're not going to want to miss. It's a pretty cool giveaway that Ryobi have hooked us up with. And what's the plan for all the tools? Well, we're going to test them out, and then we're going to be building a shadow foam panel. This is one of our medium sheets, 1 meter by ½ meter. These are $26.99 at shadowfoam.com, and we have them in 9 colors and 3 different depths. We've made some nice panels over the years, some big vertical ones, some French cleat ones, but for this one, we're going to go with a horizontal layout in one of our medium sheets with a nice frame around it, and that should be a pretty cool standalone display for something we've got planned in the future. So that's the plan. Let's bring in the tools. Now, before I get into the Ryobi tools, let me tell you about topnotchtools.co.uk, and that is my brand new website to bring to you guys all of the quirky tools I find that aren't available in the UK. Time after time, I find cool stuff, and it's not available here in the UK. I get loads of comments, where can I get this? And I can't put a link. So I thought I'd bring it to topnotchtools.co.uk, where I can bring them to the UK, offer them at a good price, and one of the first brands on there is Rapid Edge Tools, and they have a range of cool utility knives, but also serrated blades, which you just don't see in the UK. Serrated blades last 50 times longer, and they can cut through some much heavier duty materials. So they're a pretty cool upgrade to your existing utility knife, or why not get one of the Rapid Edge utility knives? This one is their extender blade, and literally the blades are twice as long. So if you're working with substrates and materials that are quite thick, you might want to grab yourself an extender blade. There's loads of other stuff on Top Notch Tools, including another brand, Magnum. Their compact tape measures and easy grip pliers are from Finland. They're another great tool find that wasn't available here in the UK. So go and grab yourself something from topnotchtools.co.uk. It helps support the channel, and it'll help me bring even more quirky tools into the UK. So with that being said, let's get into the Ryobi. First item I found was the high volume inflator. So inflators you don't see in many power tool lineups, but this is a super compact version as well, which is pretty good. The heat we're having this summer, there is many occasion you will benefit from having an inflator. If it's pools, if it's tents, you can inflate tents nowadays. My tent is an air beam. We love a bit of camping, and I tell you what, if this is decent, it will help out the next camping trip. There you go, it's a really small thing, and you've got a couple of the tips in here as well, which is cool. So we've got a really fine nozzle, and then a bigger nozzle. So to fit a battery, it's pretty simple. You just twist this cap off the end, and it has got an O-ring on it, so it is a sealed little capsule, and then we just slap a battery in there, and the batteries can charge in a normal charger, or you've got a little USB-C port on them as well, so you don't even need a charger, which is quite refreshing, one less thing to buy. So the battery just slips in the trigger, the cap back on, and it's as simple as that. Let's go for one of the nozzles. Oh, there you go, there's another nozzle on the side there, that's pretty cool. So you've got storage for both of the spares, and that's pretty good, isn't it? I only just noticed that. So you've got a wide nozzle here on the side, and then a little needle nozzle, both of them stowed on the side. Nice little thing. And that's kicking out a fair bit of air, that is. It's not an air blower by any means, but you can feel there's a good bit of volume coming out of it. Off to a pretty strong start with that. That is pretty cool. I definitely like the fact that the attachments stow on the side. That is very, very good. Right, that's the first one. Next up, we've got a speaker, and there's a bit of weight to this, to be fair, and it comes with a battery, which is pretty nice. So I've got an extra battery and a lead. With this one, there isn't a cap I can see, but there is a little lever here which lifts up, and then there's a little hatch door that opens up, and I'll stick that battery in. Oh, that sounded good. Boom, boom, ominous. It's like the Netflix situation, that. Anyone recognise this song? Loving this one at the minute. Baby, that ain't for me. That's good, that. Right, I best cut that there in case we get copyright struck. I think we can only have a few seconds. But let me know in the comments what that was. You will be entered into the giveaway for this video, which I've not shown you yet, but you're going to want to make sure you've entered because it's a bit of a winner. All the comments are entered as long as you're subscribed. And I can tell you now, that is really good sound as well. That surprised me. Another thing on the box, it says it does pair with up to 4 other speakers. There's an app, but it looks like you can just connect them with Bluetooth. You can have them all around the site maybe to spread the joy and get the music playing everywhere. It's also got a picture of it in a pool, so it's not just waterproof, it's IP67 and fully submersible. So I think we get it submersed. So I've got a big old bucket of water. Let's get it tested. Let's see if it still works underwater and what it sounds like. I'm pretty intrigued by this one. Just squeezing out the last of the bubbles. So it definitely still works underwater. Doesn't sound as good, but one thing I can say, which I think is a big positive, is it floats. So if you're on a boat and you knock it overboard, it's not sinking to the bottom of the ocean on you. And if you're in a pool and you drop it into the pool, you're not gonna have to dive in after it, it's gonna float on the surface, which I think is a pretty good positive that we found out that isn't listed on the box. So there we go. The last thing to test is what it sounds like when you bring it back out of the water. Still sounds amazing. Right, on to the next one. Next up, the smallest box I found is the 4-volt area light, which is just a pretty funny little item to add to the range. It's something you wouldn't see with a big old beastie power tool setup, but takes the same battery. And this thing is similar to what you'd hang in the top of a tent. Very small, it's got a carabiner on it. Pretty bright, to be fair. 3 different brightnesses. It's also got a hook on the back, so you can hang it that way or you can hang it that way. Uses the same battery, so you can have a load of these on you and just hang it in the top of your tent. Or if you're working in a small little cupboard, under a sink or somewhere it's dark, you can hang this up. And rather than having quite a big work area light, you've got something actually really compact, which you could sit on the bottom of a cupboard and it light up the whole area. So something pretty amazing to me as well. On this setting here, which is 25 lumen, it's got 52 hours of light if you're on a 2 amp hour battery, and they do have 3 amp hour batteries too, so that's going to be even more time, which seems pretty good going. If you were working in an area, 52 hours of light, I think that's pretty incredible, to be fair. Going on the panel. Next up is another torch. So I've got the small one that came in my triple pack from America. We've got the area light. I also found this one, which is called the pivoting headlight, which again comes with a battery. So this was a little kit. Always happy to have another battery in the setup. So a couple of quirky things with the pivoting head torch. First one, it's got a laser built in and it shines perfectly in the center of the spotlight. So wherever the spotlight is, the laser is right in the middle of it. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that's for. Interesting nonetheless. You can see the red dot really brightly, even though it's in the middle of the spotlight. Something else I noticed is this has got a different cap to the other models because this one has got a magnet built in and it is pretty strong. Class 2 laser built in. Let me know in the comments what you think the idea behind that is, because I can't see anything about it on the box. And if you hold the button for 2 seconds, it works just as a laser pen. So the light doesn't come on. And then if you hold it for 2 seconds, it goes off. So pretty cool little thing that, to have a laser built in. Another one of the quirky items that really just caught my eye and made this 4-volt range from Ryobi stand out as something really different. And that is a 4-volt magnifying glass. Did you ever think that was going to be in a power tool lineup? And these are power tools, low power, obviously, but they are power tools. This is called their magnifying light, and as you can see, it's this. I tell you, Sherlock or Inspector Clouseau would be well happy with this thing. 3 times magnification with a light built in. Let's get a battery in it. And there you go, simple as that. So exactly as you'd expect, it's a magnifying glass. Feels quite nice and solid, nice and comfy in the hand. It's got 2 different brightnesses, and it's got 3 times magnification. Let's have a look. That is just the job, that is magnifying that beautiful. So whatever industry you're in, if you're using a magnifying glass, you might want to consider this pretty cool gadgety one with a light built in. Perfect tool for a would-be detective, that one. Another pretty unusual one that caught my eye is the detail scrubber, or the electric toothbrush by Ryobi. Now I've seen one of these from Pink Stuff and a few different cleaning brands. I think this is the first one I've seen from a power tool brand. So this comes with 4 different attachments. Let's chuck a battery in it. Again, they've all got a great feel. A really easy to unscrew cap that goes on really nice and tight, which is nice. It's quite like a wide thread. There's no fear there that I'm going to over tighten that. It just feels really tight. It's got an O-ring on it as well. Feels nice and heavy. And then this has got 4 different heads that just click on. I mean, that isn't a toothbrush you want to be using really. That does all your teeth in one go, that one. And then you've got a little detail brush. So it's literally an oscillating head, not a spinning head. So it is literally like a toothbrush. And then we've got this other one, which is a bit like a wide and a narrow. And then we've also got like a little buffer pad as well, which is Velcro. So you can replace those and change those. That is another really cool little item using all the same batteries, which is why it's such a cool range. Buy a couple of batteries, as many gadgets as you want, and you can really have quite a compact kit for some quite specific tasks, which is quite cool. That's got so many use cases for detail work and refurbishing stuff. I do love that. Let me know what you think of any of these tools that stand out to you. Right, next up is the tire inflator. I hope you see where I'm going with this. So many cool little quirky tools that you wouldn't expect to be part of the lineup, but a tire inflator, I think, is another great little win. If you're putting together a bunch of tools to make camping easier or going away or traveling, the idea that you could inflate a tent or inflate a pool, you've got the inflator. This can go up to 7 bar or 100 PSI, so that's definitely enough for car tires. It's got a nice little stowaway spot here for the 2 different valve connectors, so that's the one that always goes missing. Goodness knows how many times you need to pump up a football and you can't find this little valve for the life of you. Well, this little Ryobi tire inflator has got a lovely little stowage section right on the back there. We've got the same battery cap as all of them have, so that clicks on there really nice. And it's got a little torch on the end, which is pretty cool. Quite a nicely designed thing, this. Even the little hose for the inflator stows away on the side, and then you take it off, screw it on the end, just so it makes it a lot smaller, easier to pack away. Got an LED in it. Let's give it a test. I've got a Milwaukee football here. I've had this a while, to be fair, and it's never been inflated. The fact that the pin is stored in the body means you've not lost it. That is half the challenge when it comes to inflating a football. All you have to do is hold the button down, and the good thing is you've got an LED lighting up where the pin goes. That helps. And there we go. That is pretty quick, to be fair. And it's just nice and quiet. The fact that the items all stow away, the fact that it's quite small, all the accessories kind of stow away quite nicely. You're not going to lose anything. And you can switch the battery out. So if it dies, you can have another battery on charge and you can keep going again. You know, if you're blowing up 4 car tyres from scratch or using it all the time, you can just switch out the battery, which I love. The fact that goes in there, that is the bit you always lose. Happy days. I love that. And that's blown that up quite nice. Give that a go. Can't have a football in the workshop and not have a few keepy uppies, but that's not going in the foam. That is pretty cool. I think that's my second favourite so far. Next up is a classic tool. It's not all quirky, unusual power tools in the 4-volt lineup. We've also got some pretty essential power tools, but in a much smaller form factor. This is their 1/4-inch ratchet driver or ratchet wrench. And look how small that is. So this is a classic tool to have in a small form factor, especially with a right angle head, so you can get into much tighter spaces. You've also got an LED on the end, which is pretty cool. And I think it just helps round out what is quite an unusual range of stuff, but with some really classic hand tools that will be really handy in a lot of situations and just a much smaller form factor. So a pretty cool addition that to the lineup. I think it's not just some quirky bits from this Ryobi 4-volt lineup. You've got some really good classics, including the 1/4-inch ratchet and a few others. Now, if you've ever had a taste for testing and you fancied yourself as a bit of a product tester, the sponsor of this video is a great place to start, and that is TesterUp. TesterUp is a marketplace for testing all sorts of apps, games, and software. It's really easy to set up an account. We'll put a link down in the description so you can go and use it. You can earn some money, test out some brand new apps that are new to the market, and you can be a bit ahead of the game, which is always exciting in itself, and you earn yourself a few quid. And the funds that you earn aren't tied up in credit or somewhere you can't spend them. They're paid into your PayPal. So as soon as you receive it, you can withdraw it to your bank. The app is free to download. You just go into the App Store, download the app, and you can do it anytime, anywhere. Each member will receive over 50 bespoke offers to them, worth over £800 in commission, which is immediately available after completing the tests. With nearly 15,000 reviews, it's a tried and tested platform and just a great way to earn a few extra quid in your spare time, receive some free products, and test out some brand new stuff that no one else has got. So pretty cool. I'll put a link in the description to go and download the app and get started. Big thanks to TesterUp for sponsoring the video, and a big thanks to you guys for actually using the sponsors. It really helps us to grow the channel and do bigger and better videos. We've got some exciting things planned, and having sponsors really helps us. Right, back to the Ryobi. Next up is an item I desperately need right now because it's sweltering in the UK, and that is the Cordless clamp fan. It's got 2 hours of runtime, this, same battery, and I think this isn't going on the foam because this is going to clamp somewhere and fire on me. Oh, that is amazing. Nice and quiet that is. 2 hours of runtime. I think that's not going to get clamped. It's going right there. Ah, that is beautiful. Right, next up is another classic. This is the cordless stapler. Most power tool lineups will have a stapler, but this is much smaller form factor. As you can see, that is quite a compact little unit. And this one does come with a battery also. And this one has even come with some staples, which is pretty cool. Oh, look at that, loads of staples in fact. Not just staples, we've also got little pins. So it's a pin nailer and stapler. It actually says 4-in-1. 3 types of staples and pins, that's what makes it a 4-in-1. So we can do an 11mm wide, a 40mm long, 6mm long, and then pins. Right, let's get a battery in it. That is good. That's really powered them in there. Quite a nice snap to it, but not too loud. So we'll try the pins. So for the pins, you're literally just using the same track, but you're putting them in down the left-hand side. There's a little arrow showing you where, and then they should just fire in the same way. There we go, that is really good. That is firing them in there nice and flush. That is fab. 340 pins it says it can fire in with a full battery. It's so light in your hand compared to, I've got a Makita one of these, which is like probably triple the weight. That is another little beauty. I love that. Right. Next up is another classic power tool. This is their Dremel tool. They call it the Power Carver. And essentially it's like a rotary deburrer, a small little collar power tool. It's a classic tool you'd want in a low voltage lineup. Actually, I was slightly wrong there. It's not a deburring tool and a spinning tool. This is a little carving tool. So this is actually different than I expected. It's a good job I read the box. The Power Carver, this is called. So these are actually little carving bits that come with it. And they're not Dremel bits that are like a little circular shaft that tightens into a collar. This has got like a flat plate on it. You can see the bits have got like this little flat tang here, or tang. And we've got a couple of bits. I've put in the little V carve, but we've also got a round carve. I turned it on, I was wondering why is it not spinning, but it doesn't spin. It's kind of like chiseling. How flipping cool is that? I can imagine some artists doing some amazing work with this. So that has impressed me, that has. I didn't expect that. And then we've also got a little flat chisel here. Even if you're not doing wood carving, if you want to kind of flatten off door hinges, that is making light work. That is flying through there. Making a right mess of this board, but it was in the scrap bin. that is flipping awesome. I love that. I well thought that was a rotary deburrer or a little Dremel tool. It is a wood carver tool, and a really good one at that. That has surprised me. That is a really, really cool tool. So that was the wood carver. This is the rotary deburring tool. Looks very, very similar, but this one isn't vibrating the end like an oscillating action. This one is a classic rotary tool, and this one comes with a battery as well. Always a little Brucey bonus when I find a battery inside. And a nice little box of deburring bits. That's pretty cool. They didn't just put it all in there loose. You've got a nice little box of the attachments, which is cool. So again, a nice feel to this. It feels really stout and comfortable in the hand. It's got the same cap on it for the battery. Kind of the same vibe with all these items. They've just got a really nice form factor to them. They sit nicely in the hand. They're really light, but feel solid and tough. Something quite nice about this as well, I don't need a spanner to lock the collar. You just press the lock button there, which locks the spindle, and then you can just use, this is like a nicely knurled little nut here, and you just twist it and it locks it in. Best grab me a plank of wood back to give it a go. Right, so we'll give it a bit of a test. I think the easiest one to test is the engraving tool, and we'll be able to make even more of a mess of this chunk of wood, but let's give it a go. Just the job, that. Happy days. That works really well. Nice high-speed little thing, nice and light in the hand, so you can use it like a pen. It gets nice and narrow down here, so it's easy to hold. Pretty happy with that, and I do like the fact it comes with a little case with all the bits in. Another amazing little tool for the lineup. Really impressed with that. We are down to the last 3 items now, and then I will show you the pretty cool giveaway that Ryobi have hooked us up with. You're not going to want to miss this one. It's a really cool item. Right, number 3, another little torch, but this one is different again. This is the folding inspection light, and you can see it's a bit more of a strip light, this one. So this has got 32 hours of battery, which is what you want for kind of an area light or floodlight. This is called the inspection light. So again, it's got a magnetic base, which is quite nice. Quite like that, so it'll magnet to the side of something, to a pillar, and then you can adjust the light, and it's 180 degrees adjust, so it goes all the way back round on itself, and you can point it exactly where you need it. Couple of different brightnesses, 3 different brightnesses. To be fair, for this torch and the other torches, probably best to give them a test at night. So I'll take these home tonight and I'll insert clip here. This one is really surprising on how bright it is. This is lighting up the whole back of the unit, and it's still a tiny little lightweight pocket torch. And obviously with the magnet on the back, it's pretty good that you can just attach it to any bit. I mean, this is a metal building, it's just attaching to the side, and then you can just work, and it's lighting up the whole area. It's pretty cool. And the little area light is lighting up me, so you can see me in the shot. So that is doing work as well. And obviously that one will last 56 hours when it's on its lowest mode, which is still pretty bright. That is on its lowest mode, doing a lot of work, lighting up my face, lighting up the area. 56 hours. Pretty amazing things. I think we can consider those tested. let's get back inside. Pretty amazed at how bright these things are, especially when you consider how long the battery life is. 32 hours on such a bright light. Obviously 32 hours is on the dimmer setting, but even the dimmer setting is still bright. It's lighting up a whole area, which is pretty impressive. And having the different options, the hanging light, the little torches, the pivot torch, and then the area torch, you've got a wide array of options to find something that will work for your application, which is pretty cool. Right, so that's number 3. Let me show you the penultimate item. This is the cordless power vac, which has me very intrigued. Now, I've made a bit of a mess around here. There's not too much wood chippings to clean up, but there's something for it to do. That's pretty cool. It's vacuumed up the small amount of sawdust that I had on the table from chopping up that door frame threshold. But I think what I'll do now is get a big pile of dust and see how it can cope with that. Because on the picture on the box, it's showing a whole ruck of glitter or something, or beads. Let me get some more sawdust. That'll do. It's pretty similar to the picture, but it's sawdust. Let's give it a go. That is very, very satisfying. It doesn't hold very much, but the fact that it's just whipped all of that up in there, I just filled it already. One little bucket full. That's an amazing little thing. It fills up so quick. There's so much junk here, but it's not struggling. I think that's pretty conclusive. That is a very nifty little hoover. Very small capacity, so it's got a very niche application. I think what I hoovered up at the start, which was just a small amount of sawdust that I'd created on the bench, that is the perfect scenario for this little thing to come in and be a little champion, take up all the dust. There we go, not seen anything like that before. And just another example of why the 4-volt range from Ryobi is very different, very unusual setup. Brilliant, right. Last item is probably what I would consider one of the most useful or one of the more useful items. Saying that, there are a lot of useful items in there. Let me know in the comments which one of these would be the standout for you, which one of these you think you'd get the most use for. For me, I think the 4-volt soldering iron definitely takes it. How small and light it is, but how solid it feels. It's got a little LED light on it, which is a nice little work light, and it gets up to temperature really quickly, which is something you want. You know, I've got a gas soldering iron, and I really like it. It's in my compact toolkit, the Weller, but you have to make sure it's filled with gas, and gas does evaporate over time. So having a little electric one, which is small, portable, you can work anywhere, you're not tied down with a plug, is really nice. And the fact that it heats up so quickly, to me, is just quality. And another little addition, which I really like, is that the heat protected cover that clips over has got a metal sheath in it. So even when it's hot, or still a little bit hot, you can still stow it away and it's not going to melt the tip, which I think is just fantastic. And that is not just the last item, it's also my top pick in the Ryobi 4 volts. Maybe there's a different top pick for you, but let me know in the comments and you'll be in with a chance of winning the Ryobi giveaway item. Let me show you what that is, because it's pretty cool. Ryobi, watch the videos, because when we asked them about sending us a prize for the giveaway, they recommended this and they said they would send us 5. They know all about the channel, which was really exciting. They'd seen this panel, they loved it, and they helped us out with the missing 4-volt tools that we couldn't find in store, and they sent us this. This is a 14-in-1 compact multi-tool, and I actually have my very own, so they didn't even need to send me 6. And it's just a nice little pocket size. 14-in-1, it's got a nice set of pliers, which are spring-loaded. Not a lot of these multi-tools have that little spring in to make them a little bit easier to use. I think this is a great addition to any toolkit or any everyday carry as well. So get your comments down below to be in with a chance to win one of these. I've got 5 as always, and our giveaways are dead easy to enter. Just drop a comment, make sure you subscribe to this channel, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button, and then you'll get a notification anytime we release a video. Who wouldn't want that? We have a few comments every now and then asking how much subscription to the channel costs. On YouTube, subscription is absolutely free, and all it means is that our videos are going to pop up on your homepage. So with that being said, that is the giveaway. Get your comments down below. Done a rough layout. I've been working on a layout as I've gone through, and I think it's pretty much there. I'll have to maybe move a few things around a little bit, but all I'm going to do now is cut all of these items into a medium sheet of foam. So Shadow Foam comes in loads of different sizes and inserts for all of the major power tool cases. So Milwaukee Packout, DeWalt Tough System, the Tough Built Stack Tech. Every toolbox on the market has got a Shadow Foam insert in a whole array of colours and different sizes to slot in there and get your tools organised. But one of our most popular sheets is the medium sheet that you can see here. It's 1 metre by ½ metre. You can slice it and dice it into any different sizes for your toolbox. Or what I'm going to be doing here is making a frame for it, organising all these tools and then getting it up on the wall, which I think is a great way of not only seeing all your tools and knowing what you've got and where it is, but it's a nice little display piece when you've got some quality tools like we've got here. So I'll nail down the layout and I'll cut it all in. And once I've cut it all in, I'll talk you through how easy it is to cut Shadow Foam. So there we go. All of the foam is cut. It looks amazing, and I've put it in a frame. I've made a lot of these frames in the channel, so if you want to see how I make this, you can go and watch this video here. I did a full power tool wall with skill tools, all mounted in IKEA panels. That was a great little DIY way of making it yourself. But for this one, I thought I'd spoken enough about the Ryobi tools, and I've done a lot of foam cutting, so I've just whizzed the panel together, and it looks really, really nice. Nice little finish. Get that up on the wall. You're going to know immediately where your tools are. You're going to know if something's missing, if you've forgotten to put it back. And I just think it's a really effective way getting your tools organized and up where you can see them. And when it comes to cutting shadow foam, it couldn't be easier. You literally lay out all the tools where you want them to go and put a little bit of pressure on the tool so it doesn't move. Cut around it with a scalpel. They're included in our cutting kits that come free with most orders at shadowfoam.com. Once you've cut all the way around the tool, you then just peel back layers to create a little negative space for the tools to fit perfectly inside. And I just think it's a great, effective way to have your tools exactly where you can see them. You know when anything's missing. It can help you figure out how to solve a problem because you can see what tools you've got. Get your comments down below and you'll be entered into a chance to win the multi-tool. Don't miss out. I think that is a great little prize. You can find all of the videos of me drawing the random comments as winners over on the Shadow Foam playlist. We'll put a link to that up here too. You can see all the previous giveaway draws. It's pretty cool to go back sometimes and watch all of the prizes we've given away, and it is literally 30 plus giveaway draws we've done now. So there's a lot of stuff going out the door, which is pretty exciting. And if you're a big fan of tools, definitely head over to Whatnot on Monday. I'm auctioning a load more tools from £1 over there. Hopefully see you over there. Grab yourself a bargain. Big thanks to Ryobi for hooking us up with a prize and a few of the remaining tools that we couldn't find. Thanks to you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.